course, a 4-win streak. They were everyone's heroes, alright? With representations for Singapore over the few years. But perhaps, just perhaps, when it comes down to Evil, they were 0 at, of course, Season 3. And is this the moment? Well, you mentioned 0 to hero?
Could be. Not only just 0 to hero, I would say 0 to evil, right? Like, literally, they're literally going evil, Knievel right here against Team Flash. But we really have to see, once again, we go into Dangerous Grass. Team Evil pulled off the Hilda in Dangerous Grass before. Would they do the same this time around?
With Jusin, Yisun Shin, and CC, they will go over to the side of Flash. Those are the bans. While for Evil, they have banned out the Hayabusa, Farza, and Kimi. As such, they have lost the Lancelot, only to retaliate by picking up the Baxia and Grok.
Wow, are you serious? Team Flash leaking out the Grok and also the Baxia over the side of Team Evil? You saw how Aether was so solid on the Baxia in the previous match, and especially at match point, you really want to do this.
I'm not too sure what exactly do they have at, well, in the notebooks. Maybe they have got some situations that they have definitely know about. One thing's for sure, Hades is really cool when it comes down to his Lancelot. We might be onto something for the side of Team Flash. I'm not going to count them out just yet, just because of the fact that the Baxia entered the hands of Evil. There must be a little bit more out of this.
Yep, a bit of a history lesson as well. Team Flash and Evil have met in the Grand Finals before in Season 8, but the score was reversed. It was a 4-1 for the side of well, I almost read NIP Flash. Back then, they were NIP Flash. It was a 4-1
yes,
over the side of Team Flash, and technically speaking, it was a slightly different Flash, right? It was a slightly different Team Evil. However, this time around, this feels like a peak form of Team Evil. They cannot lose their focus right now, Abstract.
And remember, they are just this close to getting themselves the win. This close. But they have to, of course, make it through this drafting stage first. And you know what they say, the drafting stage is always gonna be the first battle between the coaches, which will spell it for the players that enters into the battlefield.
Yeah, okay, this time around, at the very least, from the side of Team Flash, I like what they picked up so far, right? The Lancelot going back in the hands of Hades as well. He's played really well in game number 2 earlier just now. Harif, on the other hand, the Zaman Falls laying down in the real world manipulation. All of a sudden, yes, it is, you're not really vulnerable to the real world manipulation as you just zip-zap around and output the damage. But once again, Team Evil, I think they really have to play a very fast-paced game alongside with this Baxia, right? Gotta catch up on the side of Team Flash once again, but also a lot more focus on Bear, in my opinion. What kind are they gonna feel the Yuzhong once again? Maybe this time around, yes, if you're going up against a Sailor's Yi, but take a look at the ban. Valentina, the Lunox getting banned out. Once again, Farsight as well. Team Flash literally starving out in terms of their mid lane pool.
Right now, there is not a lot of shred options from the side of Team Flash. Now that the Lunox is gone, the CC is gone as well, there might be a possibility that Evil is trying to force Flash into playing an X-Bog XP, given the fact that they have very tanky front lines from the Grok and the Baxia.
Xbox is really good, I would say.
Unless they steal it themselves.
Yeah, Last Insanity, you also burn the Baxia, you also burn the Grok. Last Insanity to also force the real world manipulation off. Moscow will get taken out by the side of Team Flash.
So now the ball is on the court of Evil. Do they want to steal that Xbox?
Nope.
Nope.
You're going to get the Lapu Lapu. Instead, Lapu Lapu works also very well for this Eve. The Xborg will also be a little bit awkward as well if you mention it. Especially when you fight inside a real world manipulation, right? You're unable to just step forward. You're reliant on your movement speed to basically start burning down that Eve. However, Lapu Lapu, that's something that Gear loves to play. He's very aggressive on that. The Bravest Warrior also forces the Bravest Warrior also forces the stun onto the Harry as go into Zaman Force. But right now, I'm looking at the last 2 picks from the side of Team Flash.
At this moment, they're lacking of XP and mid. Lacking of XP in mid, and so far with a Harif in tow, they want to play Area Denial. Oh, the Selena! So, this is gonna be a wombo combo in some sense between the Selena and the Gatukacha. Not as simple and not as easy as a Baxia plus Selena combination, but it can still work. There is a very high lethality when it comes down to Gatukacha's taunt. And every time you see that the Gatukacha is about to come at you with a taunt, you need to run before the absolute arrow lands onto you.
Right. This is gonna be a do-or-die moment for the side of Team Flash. Kurtizi pulls off the Selena all the way up in the last moment. Hopefully speaking, that's more than enough, because don't forget, early game is definitely going to go in the favor of Team Flash, right? Like, you've got your Selena, you've got your Lancelot that could just do quite a good amount of damage, especially in the early game. Hopefully they can use that to snowball all the way to late, start ganking onto Bruno, also start ganking onto the likes of Yeep, and also slow down, hopefully, Baxia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the center point. The crowd is ready for the entrance of Team Evil. Well, for Team Flash, they may be behind, but they are not out just yet. As such, we are gonna go in straight into the land of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, bear witness to the possible champions from the side of Team Evil, while Flash defends the throne.
They really have to pull all the stops right here, Abstract. They're literally balancing on the wire, dancing on a surgical knife. One false move. If you botch the early game, it is going to be over. We've seen this before for the side of Team Flash. Team Evil, on the other hand, like what I mentioned, the Baxia pick from the side, Team Evil is going to help them out in the early game, and I want to see more. Kurtizi is going to start off taking quite a bit of damage already from the side of the mid lane.
Right off the bat, we're looking at the lane priorities. And of course, whenever you look at a Grok Plaza Yeep, you always know that the wave clear will be crazy. But look at Kurtizi. Oh, he's just shoved right inside of his middle lane. Doesn't really have a lot of opportunities or any form of help from the Gatukacha, because Gatukacha is all the way at the top lane supporting that Harif.
Yeah, and the interesting part is Kurtizi definitely needs a level 2. I was expecting Jade to really spend most of the time down in the mid lane as well, to hopefully to wave clear using the Concussive Blast, but Kurtizi kind of sent Vijay all the way up top. Yes, it is a Bruno versus Inherent matchup. It's kind of equal, but towards the long run, it is going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, okay.
That's a good thunder. Oh, but Aether broke the silence with the first kill of the game, and they're looking for the second.
Aether. Man, this is why you don't give the Baxia over the side of Team Evil, because Aether is so confident and comfortable with it. Even Jay on a Revitalize is not enough to save Hades. Hades constantly get the wall block, constantly get the front of execution, getting turned off as well. And now they're going to be a little bit awkward position going into the total fight, Abstract.
Hades will definitely want to go for a little bit of a steal, but he seems like he's slightly stuck here. I hope he still have a puncture, but indeed, that is going to be the Thorn Rose from the side of Hades that will be able to secure down to the turtle, together with the Retribution, with the Phantom Execution. They might be able to land on the gear, but gear is not going to falter just yet.
Man, the TOR coming off on Bear was the only thing that will be able to push Team Evil back. The turtle pickup from the side of Team Flash is A-okay, but Team Evil, though, they can easily grow out of it. 2 kills on the side of Baxia right on the bat. Going to the later part of the game, you don't really have an answer onto the Baxia, especially if you're Phoenix on this Harif. Yeah, it's a little bit scary, but Team Evil, on the other hand, I think they can stabilize this one.
Speaking of stabilized, things will start to slow down a little bit. Even though we have a small little skirmish up to the top lane, it is not really something that will bring Jay down that easily. We have got Evil that is really just creating a diagonal space between them and Flash by trying to take a little bit more control off of the river lines.
Yep, Bear going directly into the Oracle, skipping the Molten Core, but Gears worked on his Fury Hammer already, should be going into some form of magic resist. If you take a look from the side of Van, also first item is that Heart's Claws. Heart's Claws versus what Vanix needs to secure for himself. He needs at least a Battle of Heavens and a Starlium Scythe. These are very expensive items compared to Heart's Claws because Van would just escalate out of control. Hades, on the other hand, that turtle pickup is definitely way okay, but Aether could just easily slam into anybody right now.
Crashes onto Jay. The Void Crystal that slows Jay down. Jay will take the L that easily. What a wild shot from Powerful. Sends 2-person flying up to the air. RWM to further supplement it. Forces Curteasy as well as Hades to back off.
The window, the early game window for the side Team Flash is starting to disappear because of Aether, and now, okay, TOR.
But the flicker from Powerful, he gets himself right away and ensure that he don't give any needless kills to the side of Hades. But in the meantime, top lane, Vanix!
Oh, the tick. The MPL range not good enough. Ven will be able to survive with a sliver. But like what I mentioned, the early game for the side Curteasy is starting to fall just a little bit. Team Evo, on the other hand, they will escalate out of control around the mid game unless Bear finds a solid TOR.
But in the meantime, Gear is literally going to be in the face of Bear. They know that there is a possibility that the TOR will happen and that will catch on to everyone. So they play things down a little bit slowly with only, hey, Aether is just spinning around and he still managed to get a kill down onto the turtle. Curteasy doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, while Gear single-handedly is just holding on to 3%. But alas, he will still go down.
Curteasy baiting out, but the main target will be Vanix all the way up top. The worldie will be committed. Vanix actually trying desperately to survive.
As we are inching closer and closer to the demise of Flash SG, the morale and tempo might be low due to the fact that we're looking at a 3-kill deficit, and to make matters worse, we have the top lane T1 that has been destroyed. At least Bear responds in kind with a respective push down to the bottom.
You can see how fast Van actually tears down the top side turret, right? That's the power of the Bruno, a massive siege unit. And we haven't seen Curteasy, using this Selena to his greatest advantage. Take a look right now, building towards the glowing one. First, looking for more like a late game Selena, hopefully. But late game Selena doesn't really work well if you're constantly having to fight backwards, because Jay is the main punching bag for the side Team Evo. He's taking out Jay like it's nobody's business. AOG.
Aether meets his will, but the AOG climbs down over to the creep wave. Powerful tectonic charges himself right out of dodge. They do not want to participate in that fight anymore. But in the meantime, it does seem like Gear managed to spy onto Hades while he goes in to take the steal on the purple buff. There is creep waves, so it's not going to be easy to crash down onto him.
Thorn Rose right there, the iframes will be allowing, him to just survive the clash just a little bit, because Gear and Aether will look at Hades like it's food. Right now, Flash SG really need to play around his choke points. Wait for Vanix to scale up as a very late game Harif, and then let's play around the choke points. But choke points is where Team Evo also truly shines, right? Sailor could just go in the real world manipulation. The tectonic charge could come easily, and don't forget the bravest warrior, just one straight line down, everybody's stunned.
I do want to see a little bit more wombo combo between Jay as well as Curteasy. There isn't a lot of opportunities for Flash to just root someone down or to stun someone down in order to really ensure that Curteasy is able to land a very good Absol arrow. As such, Team Evil, they will be able to take the enmity of the turtle and of course take it down very easily. Now they're going to be focusing all of their firepower down over to Bear. With Valence down, one of the main front lines for Flash will be taken down.
Yeah, Bear wasn't able to cast his own TO on. The rest of the members from the Team Eva just shoving down damage onto Bear. He's unable to hold that one. And now the turtle getting taken down this time around for the side Team Eva. Van.
AOG.
Vanix
comes in and slams down on the Aether, but he is pretty tanky after all, as now Sailor opens up the realm of manipulation, manipulated the life that is within of the box. While we do have the arrow, lands on the Sailor, it's 3v1. Jay survived for long, but not long enough.
Hades is actually out of the picture right there, trying to create opportunities around the map when that whole sequence was activated. But don't forget, Aether could easily just jump and handle Hades. Just take a look at how Team Evo is just manhandling Hades. Yes, you are in landslide, but this time around, I brought a lot more lockdowns.
And let's not forget, Hades is currently at level 12. This is one heck of a level disparity between him and Aether. This is Hades literally just giving Aether a taste of his own medicine for when Aether was playing as the Joy.
Yeah, Vanix right now 2-0-1 is his kill score. Right now, you just need Flash SG just need to buy a lot more time, right? Like Easy on the Selena, yes, we'll be able to pick up 1 kill. That's okay, but maybe it's time for Team Flash to look at the late game. Use the Selena more on, start to get more items for the Selena. For example, the book, and also perhaps the going one, and start playing stuff like this.
Immediately, just gonna be Jay coming in from the back. While in the meantime, the TOR is just gonna be preparing himself right down into the people within of RWM. Sela hopes to get away, only for Hades to pick up a double. All 5 members of the side of Flash will now be knocking onto the T1 turret in the middle lane, and Evil only with Aether and Powerful to do something about this.
Beautiful TOR coming out from Bear, Abstract, and also Curtizi. That stun right there, slowing down the tempo. Really just messing up the wombo combos coming off Team Evil. Vanix outputting the damage from behind. That's absolutely wonderful and exactly what Flash needs. And now as Team Evil takes a back foot just a little bit, there's a bit of fighting chance for Team Flash.
Evil, as they slowly make their way back into the middle lane, they once again will lose that purple buff. They're slowly starting to lose these landmass. And they're also starting to lose some of these free gold that are scattered all over the Land of Dawn. The moment that they start to lose even more of these standing objective, the worse the situation it would be for Evil.
Twilight Armor being secured by the side of Team Flash already, especially in Bear. The book, these are 2 core items for the side of Selena. Flash, on the other hand, item check for the side of Harif does have the Feather Heavens and also the Starlim size as well, so he's technically online, and Hades on the other hand, man, trust him as this one, but TOR,
he's just gonna be landing on 1.
Bear.
Aether is the only one that is eating that, while Bear engaged into nothingness. And got 1 only, so he's just gonna suffer that fate. But Jay somehow, he got caught, but he's still gonna be able to AOG out of that fight. They're looking for more, but it does seem like the Abyssal Arrow will land onto Aether, but it's just a little bit too tanky for him to just go down like that.
But this is a big problem for our side, Team Evil. Yes, you're able to pick up Bear right there, up there at the bottom lane. Flash SG sneaks away the mid lane turret and also potentially up top. If Gear is wasn't there to basically defend against the minions, that would be even worse for Team Evil as Flash SG gains some gold lead.
Hades is already at level 15. Well, as a matter of fact, for the side of Aether, still at level 13. This upcoming Lord in 80 seconds time. Aether needs to do something within of this 80 seconds to catch up in 2 levels. Otherwise, the 50-50 is definitely going to go towards the hands of Hades.
Wait, wasn't Flash on the deficit early game?
Well, not anymore.
What? Wait, what? Hades was actually power farming all the way, sneaking, jungle creeps away, that was clearing, and then Aether all of a sudden is playing on the back foot. The red tree battle is definitely going in the favor of the side of Team Flash.
Evil has effectively lost 3 purple buffs. Let's remember that. 3 purple buffs, and Aether finds it difficult to continue on with getting decent amount of farms.
Curtizi stunning up Aether, just a bit of a tickle for now. Curtizi needs more of that. Right now, this Curtizi is basically playing like a Novaria, right? Letting down the Abyssal Arrow and also the, hopefully those marks pop. It also spreads damage all across the board from the side of Team Evil.
Item check with the Harsh Claws, Berserker's Fury, and the Prolific Gun for the side of Bruno.
Yep. There's a lot of damage already for the side of Ven, right? And Holy Crystal secured by the side of Vanix. Vanix,
neck and neck.
Both the gold laners are ready to fight. However, Ven, I think this is going to be a Wind of Nature being secured for himself. Oh no, sorry, could be a Rose Gold Meteor. Rock Cam is very, very important.
Yes. Because now we ease the tension just to prepare for this upcoming fight! As Hades, he goes down, and so will Ven! 2 of the members coming from, 1 of each member from the side of Evil as well as Flash. They're all in a very difficult spot. With Powerful just slip off, Helpy walks away. Ven is gonna be the next person down. So parts 1 and 2 from the side of Flash is already gone. Continue flickers away while they are trying to go back for a continuous fight, but Bear wasn't able to sustain long enough. Gear continues to gnaw right into Jay.
And Sailor just landing down damage from afar, and Gear coming in the nick of time, just heals everything back up. Flash SG literally ran out of utilities, ran out of steam, and unable to continue on. Phoenix right there was a perfect engage. They will be able to catch somebody from the side of Team Evil, but that's not good enough as Team Evil pivots over to the Lord.
At this point in time, Aether doesn't even need to find any opportunity or find a reason to reach level 15 because they flat out just won in that battle. With Hades out of the picture, it's no longer 50-50. It's a 1:99. with a retribution, he would get that.
Yeah, brute force breastplate secured by the side of Hades. Hades needs a lot more tankiness and also the CD that's provided. Hades is literally power farming every single jungle creep right now, trying to get as much or deny as much creep against Team Evil for now. Aether with that Lord takedown has escalated all the way to level 15, but Ven on this Bruno can juggle balls and also upper quite a decent chunk of damage. Rose Gold Meteor secured by Ven as well.
More survivability for Van, as now he will be able to play a little bit more bold. The Lord raises his trident and pierces right through to the T2 turrets up in the top lane. Jay finds himself suffering a little bit and forced with an AOG to get out of that heat.
One massive ultimate already committed just for survival. Whoa, Hades, stop. My heart.
A little bit of a hard attack coming in for fans of Flash or even fans of Evil. That could quite literally go anywhere.
Yeah, Hades is like playing like the you go into the scary,
I don't know, Minesweeper?
Scary house and then there's this
jump haunted
scare.
House.
Yeah, haunted house, and he's literally jump scare. All of a sudden a random Hades right there, Thorn Rose, and then all of a sudden Phantom Execution. You're immediately getting assassinated. Jay right around trying to find an opportunity.
TORS2 encapsulates everyone within the RWM. Gear joins in the fight shortly after. He does have a little bit of CC immunity. One in the meantime, he's going to be 3 buttons coming in from the side of Flash. That's already been taken down.
Flash winning steam.
The last member remaining from the side of Team Flash.
20 seconds on the clock, ladies and gents. Team Flash, they need to use as much support as well. Team Evil, they're gonna blitz through this abstract.
They will blitz. However, then again, the undying sovereign will finally lose his throne.
Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made. The community hero since season 3, and they rose all the way, becoming the champions of MPL Singapore.